like maybe 1, 2 more questions.
Okay. Oh, wow, now your hand is dancing, but oh, now your hand is dancing. Who can make their hand dance the fanciest? Oh my gosh, his hand is on Ritalin, so I'll pick him. And then somebody get her, because she was originally my first pick.
I'm gonna get her.
Okay.
She'll be the last one.
What? Wait, what? He wasted all of his energy on his arm, and now he can't talk.
Give me a minute.
Wait, I only heard the end of that. I heard make a gay voice.
One second.
Wait, hang on, I can't. What did? I could. Hang on, what? Boy, could I answer.
No, we've never done that,
Right this section, right this moment, I could answer in a way that would just make you laugh.
And you just did.
I did. Yes, I just did a homosexual voice, actually.
Yeah, it was a very PC question too.
No, we do lots of character voices. I try not to do the, oh, look at this, that's very sweet, because everybody's done that voice. Like, I like to sound like gay guys that get very excited about, where are you? Who wanted me to say it? And in the Hitachi voice,
yeah.
Oh my God, he got it. Shoes. I hate that song, by the way. I don't think that man is funny.
Okay, last question.
Thank you, because that allowed me to do that, and I didn't figure out how I was going to do that.
Way to kill 2 questions. Perfect.
Well, it kind of just depends, honestly, for me. Like, I take a lot I take a lot of pride in the directing and the producing and stuff that I do. So anything that I had that level of control over, even now when I watch something that I directed something 5 or 6 years ago, I really I don't cringe. Like, I go, well, you know, that was what I knew at the time, and that was the best I could do, and I still think that that's very watchable, and I still really like it. You know, for things that I've done for other folks where, you know, I might have like a different way of seeing it, or I was asked to do something that I didn't think was like, I think the line should be more like that. That's not my job. You know, someone else gets to direct it, so I get to do what they asked for. So in instances like that, because I've had creative control in one aspect, when I see it in something else when I haven't, sometimes I'm like, but it's not my bad, you know, and it's also not my place to say so. It's someone else's project. So me disagreeing with them is one of those agree to disagree things, and I have to give them what they like.
Yeah, and as a part of this job, it means that we give up and let someone else, like, I used to, when the first time I worked with Matt Greenfield, who's here this weekend, I was terrified. He can be a very intimidating director to work with, but there were several lines that I didn't like, and I didn't think that was the right way to go. Ultimately, it is our job to trust our directors and make sure that they're doing their job. They're listening to us, and they almost always make the right call. So, but flip side to that, I hate watching one specific show of mine just because it was my first show. The role of Mikhail in Steel Angel Kurumi was such a cool role that I wish I could go back and do that role now with the experience that I have now. I wish I had then, because I like it. I like that character a lot. And I was just terrified in the booth when I was recording it, because I was a big anime fan, and it was my first time working on anime, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm at ADV Studios, and oh my God, you know, like, and it didn't help that we had Steven directing us, and Steven's directions roughly sound like, okay, on this next one, more Black Widow spider drag queen. And I'm like, Black Widow spider drag queen. I think I have that. Okay, now next time, not so green, more red. And I'm like, you know.
More cheeseburger, less pizza.
Less turnip. But yeah, I wish I could go back. I mean, because we started there a long time ago, and I don't know, I think the technology's come a long way since we started doing it. Yeah. I think we've gotten better at what we do the longer we've done it, so.
There are a lot of roles that I remember fondly, and I kind of, you know what I mean? You kind of romanticize
Don't wanna
about,
go back
I loved that show. And then somewhere, somehow, you'll catch a piece from it, and you're like, oh, geez. Oh, gosh, we've come a long way, haven't we? So there are always those. And, I don't know that I would want to change any of them. And you know, I'm really a terrible perfectionist when it comes to. Mike would tell you that even when we were recording Full Metal, and I do this all the time, I'll do a line and the director will go, "Great, let's move on," and I'll be like, "Can I do it one more time?" Because I have something in my mind, something in, you know what I mean? I have something in my ear that I think would be good, and ultimately, you know, the director makes the decision, and you want to give the director the option, you know, to hear it a couple of different ways, and then, you know, they'll make the decision. But, you know, I find myself often trying to, like, you know, even when the director's like fine with the line, I want to try to give him an alternate read, something a little, maybe a little more off the beaten path, you know, something a little different. And sometimes it never comes out the way I heard it in my head. And when I hear myself do it, and I hear it played back, I'm like, oh yeah, that stunk. Yeah, forget about that.
I hate when you ask to do it again because you're like, no, I've got the better read in my head. And then the exact same read comes out of your mouth as what you just did. You're like, I can totally make this different. Beep,
or
beep,
when
beep, exactly the same.
Yes, or when you record the line, and while they're working on placing it, you're doing it different ways, and the director goes, there, do it that way. And you start to do it, and you forgot what it was.
Yes.
You don't get it right. Oh.
Or like when they're placing it and getting it where they want it, and you're like, oh, you know what, I've got a better read for that. And they're like, no, this fits, that's fine. Let's move on. It's like, oh, no, hey, there's this other one. Can we
You'll
do
like
one
it,
more
I
time?
promise.
And I'm like, no.
Well, that unfortunately has to be our last question. Thank you guys very much for coming.
Thank you guys.
Thanks so much.
We're
Great
all doing
questions.
other stuff today. There's a Voices 4 panel in here. My fan subbing panel is in here. Mike Mcfarland has a Q&A. I'm going to be DJing the dance tonight. Mike has an autograph session.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we do not have time to do autographs at the front of the room because the next panel
thing
is the AMV contest, or AMVs, and we need to get that up and us
You guys
out.
check your schedules and come see us at Autographs.
Sorry, we
and the
will
other
sign stuff.
panels,
I sign
okay?
things when I'm smoking cigarettes, too.
And one update to the schedule in case you weren't here. Chris and probably
Hey,
Greg
and
and
Maya has
myself
my favorite sign.
signing at 6:30 in Autograph Room 2.